Okay. This week gonna be different. This week everything will work. I reattached all the links. I'm not some stream jerk. Alright, we got 3 green lights. Live on Twitch. Live on Facebook Live. Live on the YouTube. Meanwhile, got to put my sweater on. And now it's on. My strings even? No. Can I check with the camera? No, it's too late. It's too late. Thick and chunky homemade juice. Oh, what am I forgetting? Audio. Ripley, is the audio coming through the right channels? Looks like it is. Let's hope that it is. Are the Space Goonies coming through the right channels? Yes. Channel 42. Space Goonie. Go. For you. Oh, snaps. Alright. Been a while, and I'm kind of afraid now. If I click over to the main camera, will the camera be there? Oh, I think it's going to be fine. I think everything is going to be fine. Be cold open? Let's cold open. I think it's fine. Milo, check. Ripley, check. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. That's all we're looking for. What about this camera over here, Rips? Over on the cushion cam? The Kutcher cam? We won't call it that. I think everything's there. I think everything's there. Yeah, that's what you always say. And then as soon as you're like, alright, let's get this thing started, that's when you suddenly go, oh, you know what I forgot? To turn on all of the buttons and to put the microphone anywhere near my face, and I forgot my juice, and I forgot to put whiskey in this unacceptable mug, and you forgot to make this unacceptable mug available in your new store, but now you have 2 stores, so this is just off the rails. I mean, if you were a train, it'd be flipped over, and Johnny Depp would be having an adventure on top of it with a cowboy hat and some Armie Hammer guy, and people would be like, we do not like this movie, but it's, you know, it's fun to see you Jack Sparrowing around. We get that, you know, that's what you were going for. Anyway, this is just going to be a 2-hour dissertation on that movie, The Lone Ranger. No, it's not. Never going to talk about The Lone Ranger. Not ever. Not ever. Not even once. Well, there's this one time, which is now, and I think you'll find I have some pretty deep introspections of what the Lone Ranger is, should be, and how Johnny Depp was the greatest and worst character in that whole movie. But I mean, he was really the main character. We'll deep dive into that right now on Milo's movies and what I think the best way they should have been done. Roll the intro for my show. Oh, thank you, live studio audience. Thank you. Audio still kind of cuts off, but I didn't really change it. I've adjusted a bunch of things. Hopefully they all work. In theory, I'll have to go to a different camera. See, over on the flash camera, if I point way over there where I can't actually reach, but where it says top cheerer, maybe that's spelled wrong, and most recent sub, that's where when people do bits on Twitch, I don't know if it also affects whatever the YouTube version of that is. I should know what it is because I literally just made alerts for it for somebody at work the other day. like 4 or 5 days ago. And anyway, it's always Pat. Pat's always at the top. Um, Maybe it'll always be Pat. Maybe somebody out there wants to take Pat down a peg, but he has been and will forever be the greatest cheer that I can ever imagine. Um, and he's the most recent sub. Subs are usually Space Goonie and Pat. Every once in a while, Matt will show up. I can't remember his Twitch name. El Wapo. He'll show up and he'll be the third person that subs. But somehow, some way, no matter however the alignment is, Pat's always the last one in. And yeah, if you're not cheering against Pat over here, swing over to Pat Prue 101 and watch Pat and cheer for him as he goes to space and shoots his gun. But not at the same time. When he goes to space, there's no guns. There's a new update coming. I was watching Pat last week, and the new update in the Kerbal Space Program is they're getting like welding lasers. And wow, was he ever excited about that? Like, super excited about that. It's so weird. So like Pat streams all week. I did happen to catch it. I don't know if I jumped in the other day and said anything, but I was watching, and I was just listening. And after a while, I just forgot that I'm just like, oh yeah, this is happening right now. I can go, hey Pat, what the F are you even talking about right now? Like, what are you even talking about right now? This space thing is crazy. And I mean, it gets real crazy because clearly he's like figuring things out. There's a lot of different like I'm sure unlockable things and getting to different levels so you can build your space station. He's a spaceship, and then also there's space stations, then there's docking, and then it's like, how many crew do we have? Like, well, we'll need this. Excuse me. And then there's some guy in Pat's chat that is clearly also into the Kerbal Space Program. So Pat's like, what about this thing? And this guy jumps in like, well, do you have enough of these things? And he's like, oh, well, I have this other thing. Like, oh, I think we can make a good, like escape pod landing or whatever. We'll need some extra parachutes. So we'll just get one of these supply rockets or whatever to come up to the space station and load us up, and then we'll go back down. And I was like drawing or whatever I was doing, and it was there. But yeah, and I just kept forgetting that it's just like, there's a few minutes, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna skip ahead and see what happens. Like, and then I was just like, wait, no, this is happening right now. Wait, what am I watching right now? I don't care about this space stuff, no offense, but Pat is making it fun and interesting because he's like joking around about things as well, and also like just talking about the world and animation and whatever. So it's like there's still stuff that I'm interested in, but then every once in a while, realizing that it's just like, this isn't quite as scientific as I thought it was. I mean, the fact that the little characters, like little miniony guys, should have tipped it off. But again, like the welding and stuff was very shooty, lasery fun. But what really like kind of broke me was there was a point where, and I'll do this in the Pat camera since it's so Pat centric. Pat was saying something, and it's just, I don't know, it just whipped past me, and then I realized, oh, I don't think he's joking around. I think this is a thing in the game where he was like, oh, well, we've got a lot of science in here. Like, we got to get all this science back down to the ground, but there's gonna, we got to get more data. So if we can get more data, then the science will be better to bring back to Earth or whatever. Like, so we got to collect more science. And that's when I was just like, oh, this game is crazy. This is crazy. This isn't like, Pat's not really learning how to go to space, even though it seems that complicated. But there's just a point where I realized, like, oh yeah, like everything's crazy. Everything is just crazy. But it was pretty fun watching Pat for a little while. Pat's got a new job, so his schedule is going to change. It's going to be less streaming from Pat, which is crazy. I keep promising more streaming, but I'm clearly a liar. Um, every time I start working on some other project, it takes 15 hours longer than I anticipate. Because I'm always like, I'll do this for an hour, and then maybe I'll go play some video games on a stream, or I'll do a comic strip on a stream. And then, the rest of the day passes by, and or, oh, it's 1:30 in the afternoon? Well, of course, it's nighttime now. I want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed. Like, when 4:30 comes, even today, I was just like, oh, I don't think I can stream today. Maybe I'll postpone till tomorrow. Like, I'm just tired. It's like, it's not even, it's just because it got dark 5 seconds ago. And, the world keeps closing over. And anyway, go visit Pat. Today, we're going to do another little adventure of me and Milo strip. I started this the other day. And when I started this, you might think, hey, so when you make your rough layer visible, we'll see the rough drawing, and then you're just going to clean this up. And no, not at all. This is all I have. I didn't rough anything out this time. I just opened up another frame and used that as my rough, and then just changed everybody's expressions and put things in their hands and added hands. In what? Okay. I'm terrible at reading. So El Guapo's question just sounded crazy to me for a second. I didn't realize what that said. But it does say is, in what year did Bill Gates invent Microsoft? And I'm gonna say this year. I bet this year, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. If Microsoft is a thing, I'm gonna say that it was recent. And I also don't know when Microsoft was invented. I have a lot of metaphors for things. I like explaining things I don't understand, but I don't have answers to specific trivia questions. Sorry. I mean, a lot of people have called me a blatant fountain of knowledge in the past. And I am full of a lot of weird facts, but real world trivia. I meant word I say. So then, yeah, I also don't know when Microsoft. Now, if the question was changed to, and I know you don't condone any changing of questions, but instead of saying, when did Bill Gates invent Microsoft, it said, when did Bill Gates make Microsoft, then we can do more speculating, because then it's just like, oh, who is Michael? When did he meet this Michael? And, did he also make him not soft? Or did he arrive on the scene and, oh wow, I've got to soften up this Michael situation over here before trouble is afoot. And that's, just as absurd. Anyway, let's draw an arm. I can draw my arm back on. I guess you can too, but still, play safe. I can't draw a real arm back on. Avocado, Shake, and Drake, El Mato, and Space Goonie. They're all hanging out with their cats, except for Space Goonie, because that would make her die. That's my upcoming musical, The Opposite of Cats, starring all of the same people that were in Cats, but they're mostly just walking around going, oh no, keep those cats away from me, that will kill me. Still focuses on Idris Elba, trying to murder everybody. I think that's what Cats is about. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched Cats. I think a long time ago, like when I was a little kid, A&E, the Arts and Entertainment Network, which eventually became Spike TV, which I don't even know what it's called now or if it still exists. I feel like it was called like the Man Channel for a minute or something. Is that wrong? But a long time ago, it was originally the Arts and Entertainment Network, where they would play plays all day long, and it was the worst place to go ever. Except first thing in the morning and late at night, they would play A&E's An Evening at the Improv and Comic Relief, and sometimes some other stand-up shows. And in that period of time, on like a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, I can't remember what it was, when nothing else was on, and my TV in my bedroom could only get a certain amount of channels because of the converter box that I had was an old VCR that only had so many channels on it. In order to get to those channels, you had to program each button. To program each button, you had to go in with a little dial and adjust them with like a little tweezer thing, and some channels just didn't come through the VCR. They could only be watched in the living room or any other room in the house. Uh, but uh, but I think hearing about cats as a kid is like it's a thing. It's mentioned in like every sitcom ever. Cats, blah blah blah, cats. It's the longest running show, Cats. And you would see these commercials for it, and it's just like this is an insane thing. It must be amazing to like so many people want to be involved in it, and I'm pretty sure at some point I watched a little bit of some like recorded version of Cats that was on the A&E network, and was just like, this is I have no idea what I'm looking at. No idea. Maybe I'm too young. Maybe I'm too stupid. Maybe Cats is just awful. I have no idea. But I remember just being like, this just looks like a garbage dump on a stage, and people just crawling around. And if anything, just like being awful at putting on a play. And I didn't quite know the difference between like a full-on musical and a play. I just assumed everything was like Disney style. You're gonna get some show, and then there'll be a song for a minute. But a musical sometimes is just music from beginning to end, and and whatever. So that was the last time I really ever thought about it. Every once in a while, there'd be a thing in the news, or entertainment news, like blah blah blah. We're gonna make it into a movie, and then people saying no, no, don't. A lot of the charm of Cats is actually comes from going to a live experience where a bunch of maniacs dressed in weird ragtag cats outfits prowl the audience and I assume molest people, or at least just act like cats around people in the audience, and that's the fun of it. And that's why I don't like going places or doing things, because sometimes that's the fun of it. Um, so a long time ago, maybe not that long ago, but a while ago, I think it was eventually, or it is, a Funny or Die thing. Uh, but Brett Gelman, this comedian improviser guy, he's in like a billion shows. I can't think of any of them now, but he usually plays like this slimy, terrible guy. I'm sure he's been in Better Call Saul at some point. But he's in everything. He's everywhere. He's had some TV shows. So when he does his weird improvised shows, or when he did like UCB stuff, he would do, usually him, and I forget who his partner was at the time, or maybe still is. They would usually do very subversive, crazy scenarios where they would just come up with something crazy and then do it live, and it would be crazy. And oh, that's weird. got another chat window up here on my screen now, and that one's like just way behind the one that I have down here. So I'll just ignore that. So anyway, Brett Gelman put on this show that was called like 99 Cats or 101 Cats or Kittens or something like that. And what it was him just listing 100 cats. And I think it possibly rhymed. Maybe it went with the alphabet. I can't remember. But it was just this thing that was like, all right, at first it's painful and insane. And then it keeps going. It's just like, he's going to really keep going. How long is this thing? And I think the real one is like 20 minutes long or it's way too long. But then hearing him talk about it and the reason that he did it is like, oh, like this is my cats. Cats is just a weird cat comes in, introduces himself, and then they're gone. Next sequence, another cat comes in. This is my weird, made up, coked up rich people writing songs in the 80s or 70s. Name. Here's a little bit about myself, and away I go. And then again and again and again. I never had any idea. I always thought it was like, I don't know, like a Garfield Great Adventure movie or something like The Brave Little Toaster, but it's not. It's nothing. Nothing at all. And the only story there is to it isn't explained, and it doesn't make any sense. So Brett Gelman's was, at least he chopped it up a bit. He abridged some things in his version, but it was just like, hey, like, whatever, like, I'm not sure if he just said, there goes, or he actually pretended to be the cats. He definitely had, like, a little cat makeup on, but he was just like, I'm, Johnny the cat. I'm the first cat, and I'm tall. I'm Billy, and I'm the second cat, and I'm small. I'm Joey. I'm the cat who's this. And he keeps going. It's just like, oh, we're the family of 12 cats. And then he'll keep jumping ahead till he gets to the 99 cats. But he goes through each one. And at like 50 or something like that, or 60, like when you're really deep into it, and it's just like, all right, like now I just have to see how many cats is he going to go through. And he gets to whatever it is, like number 60. And then it's just like 60, number 60, and he does like a 5-minute, 10-minute, like 60 song or whatever spoken wordy type thing. And I might have even watched it twice, honestly. I'm pretty sure there was a short version and a long version. And I want to say it became a Funny or Die thing. I don't remember. But because of that and him talking about that on podcasts, it was, oh, that's what Cats is about? That sounds crazy that it's been this popular then. And then the movie was coming out, and people were talking more about it. And just within the last week, for some reason, not only did I listen to How Did This Get Made, their episode was on Cats. And then I just happened to watch an episode of whatever it is, effects artist critiquing good and great and terrible video effects in movies and TV, because I'm mildly obsessed with watching the Corridor Crew lately. They have one channel that's just called Corridor, another channel that's called Corridor Crew, and then a bunch of other ones that branch out from there. Mostly, I'm watching Corridor Crew and Corridor, and basically every week they make new videos of them either doing challenges with each other, like weird Nerf challenges, special effects video challenges, or just this is how we made this weird video. And it's just fantastic. Like, they're the guys that did those videos of the crazy, I'm gonna say Osmo robot, even though it's not an Osmo robot, but like the Honda robot and stuff, where it's walking and then like the dog is walking and people are like hitting it with sticks and trying to knock it over. They made their own versions where one of them, they're all about like, was like fighting back basically and clearly getting flipped clearly Johnny Fiving and flipping over to like the evil version of that robot. And to the point where people were like, hey, like, what's going on? It's like, oh no, like, it's a special effects video. We make special effects videos. That's the thing that we do. And so anyway, they just do amazing stuff. One day I sat here and I was like, what is this? Like, oh, I'll watch this one, but I don't know. But I went from watching their Jackie Chan challenge, where they all just basically try these different things that make up a great representation of Jackie Chan, and then whoever gets through to the last challenge is named Jackie Chan. And they did like a Tom Cruise one where you have to run and do like a crazy turn like Tom Cruise does. Hold your breath like Tom Cruise. They did a Terminator, or at least a Schwarzenegger one. And it's just about like different things. Some of it's about a challenge of like actually trying to do like martial artsy type things, and half of them, if not all of them, are definitely martial artsy type people. Lots of amazing stuff. Connected with, overlapping with often the rocket jump guys. Also amazing. I think that might have been where I started in and then weaved over to the corridor videos. But rocket jump also has another name that I can't remember, but Freddie Wong, I think, is the guy, and he's all same deal. Like a lot of those like crazy Mario videos where it's like real life Mario Kart and whatnot. It's been these guys, and it's just like obsessed with those for the last little while. One thing they did, and for some reason it seemed like both a video that I'm like I'm probably just not gonna watch this at all. This is dumb, right? I'll hit play, but I'm definitely gonna skip over this in 5 seconds, and just couldn't look away. It's like, well, they're not gonna hurt themselves too bad, I don't think, if they do, but this is getting a little nuts, and it just kept getting more and more nuts. And what it was cinder block Jenga, where they set up cinder blocks, big heavy cinder blocks, just like a Jenga tower, and then they were slowly stacking them up, and it looked like, well, this isn't gonna last long at all. This is definitely gonna collapse. And holy snaps, did it ever not collapse? Like, they kept going so high up, they were like up on a ladder, and they're still like, all right, like here's the plan. If it starts to fall, like everybody just run, because this is really like, and they're calculating the weight as it gets higher, and it was just amazing. Doing a lot of weird nerf modifications, and actually one of my favorite things, like they have like kind of episodes and shows as well. I don't really understand how it's set up. They've clearly changed over the years. But one was awesome. This guy Ren, who I think might be my favorite. I think he's definitely the favorite of the show. Like he's definitely the reference I can't think of. Which is the new kid on the block that was like the one that everybody liked, and the other ones were like, we need 5 of these or 4 of these guys, so that's fine. They can fill in the rest, but we're all just here for Joey. Was it Joey? Joe? I think it was Joey or Joe. But he's definitely the Joey or Joe of these new kids on the block. Jordan? Definitely not Jordan. There's no way it was Jordan. I mean, I can't remember the name of this kid, but I know that Jordan was not the best one. I know that people liked Jordan, but he wasn't. I mean, I don't really know which is which. I think Danny was the worst one, right? Is that correct? I think that's correct. Danny was the worst one. Jordan really put his heart into it. He was really there for the band. Jonathan? Was Jonathan one of them? Jonathan Knight? Why do I even remember any of these? Wait, yeah, no, so Jonathan the one? Who I'm thinking of? Joey. If I could remember his last name, uh, but he was on a TV show for a minute that I thought was pretty great. So like Boston guys. But yeah, it was definitely Joe. Alright, occasionally getting that lag that I got last time, but not as bad. So anyway, this guy is definitely the Joe of this outfit. And this one fine day, they were like, "Hey Ren, where's that? This camera is missing." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I attached it to my drone, and I went flying it out in this park, and now it's stuck up in a tree." And it's just like, and it's just not coming down. He's like, "Well, you either have to replace this camera or go get it down." So they kind of launched themselves a little mission to go get this drone down from this big tree, and I mean that one. Until then, I was still just kind of clicking through, like this is interesting, and that one was like a real, that it's the spice that that really makes reality TV shows work. Except it was only 15, 20 minutes, so it's like my life isn't destroyed by this, and I don't hate these people like the people in the reality shows. So they go. He's like, you have 2 days. I need to film something, and it has to be in that charger like Friday morning. So go make it happen. So he goes out there with another drone to try and find it in the tree. They find it in the tree. They get these crazy like training arrows with the big like rubber end on them. They're just in the park where people are, and they're firing arrows up into a tree. Nobody's stopping them. It's insane. I feel like I go anywhere and I step off a path even slightly, and somebody is there to say, "Hey, what are you doing? Seems like you're slightly off the path over here." And I'm like, "I thought that's a thing we could do as a society." And society is like, "No, no, stepping off the path is for other people. Stay on the path, all right? You're a train. Those are your rails." And I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll do my best." Uh, but these guys are just shooting arrows in a park, flying drones up into a tree. Uh, he tried to knock it out with another drone, and then that drone basically kind of got stuck. They managed to pull that one out, and then eventually, whatever they did, they got some rope up there. They shook it down. They did a bunch of things, and then it eventually fell onto the canopy of this other just huge, like tree that you could kind of go inside. There was like a fence over it, and then the tree kind of growing through it. So then they had to like climb up on there, or they had to come back at night and then climb on the thing because you definitely couldn't get away with climbing on it when you were being watched. And I don't know. I won't spoil it and tell you whether or not they got it back, but man, oh man, what an adventure! So I usually get hooked when it's a Ren-centric video. I watched him change a tire on his one wheel, and now I know that I almost definitely can't drive a one wheel, but oh, it's so cool. For the longest time, like I don't even know what it was. I didn't realize it was powered or electronic, but it's just like borderline like a fast wheelbarrow wheelbarrow tire, and then like a platform like for either of your feet, and then I guess it's got some gyroscopes in it maybe, and a little motor, and he just leans back and forth. And then watched one where he like souped up a battery so he could charge it while he was going up a mountain. Every day something crazy with these guys. did write something down. It might have just been corridor and rocket jump, cinder block Jenga. Oh, and the other thing, use up all of my notes right away, is forgot to adjust this camera. But in today's news, I gotta move this. Come on, just pick it. Pick the right thing. There we go. So in today's news, hi Ted. Hey, bro. Anything mystical and magical happened today in the news? Tell me about that, please. Yeah, but Ted. So anyway, in MrCurtoons News, the monolith. I mean, I don't have to talk about the monolith. We all know that there was a little monolith, or at least like a 12-foot tall metal monolith that showed up in Utah, I believe it was. Did I make notes of that? I'm not the actual news. But yeah, so there's a monolith in Utah. Wow. Okay, whatever. I assume somebody was probably making a movie and they put it there, or somebody just put it there for the fun of putting stuff somewhere, and or they wanted it to be found in this Hawaii. And that's the thing, just Banksying around. And then I saw news that said there was a second one that popped up in Romania. Similar, but not exactly the same, but pretty close. And then I'm just like, what? And then I looked at the news, like, at that same time, and it was like, oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, the first monolith from Utah, gone, disappeared. We checked, and it's gone. Oh, by the way, you know how you just read about the one in Romania? Mm-hmm, I sure do. It's gone. It's gone as well. As fast as it showed up, it's gone. It's definitely not aliens, but it's weird. But it's weird. It's a spectacle, mostly because two separate things on other parts of the earth. Now, of course, it's got to be like a Banksy type thing, right? Like if it's not the Banksy, he doesn't sign his stuff, right? But it's either classic Banksy, hey, here's a semi-impossible thing, like the thing with the phone box that he had lying on its side and all twisted or whatever it was, and just like, this is so heavy, this is so much work, how did you pull this off, Banksy? Without a team full of people, Banksy, this is just some clowning around like a teen. This is a major motion picture of a project over here. So yeah, it definitely seems like that kind of thing. It's not too outlandish. I thought for sure it was like we're gonna find out, or it's either there's gonna be a movie with Joaquin Phoenix saying, "Hey, we're all monoliths," or like I'm not even a monolith, or whatever, a variation of his weird Casey Affleck movie. That sounds both horribly wrong, and I'm pretty sure right at the same time. Casey Affleck? But whatever. One of those brothers of somebody hyper famous. Not that they're not famous, but the one that made that I'm not even here anymore. Was I ever here? Or hey, it's me, Joaquin Phoenix. I'm gonna go be weird and fake rap or whatever. Again, both the most amazing and worst movie ever. So it's either one of those, and we're going to see the movie of, hey, here's how all this stuff happened, or maybe there's a new season of Nathan For You that I don't know about, and this is going to be part of that, and people won't know. Just like, he's been in the news a bunch of times, and I never heard about it until I watched his show, and he was like, yeah, it was a pretty big deal. I made this fake Starbucks, and it kind of got out of hand, and they shut me down or whatever, but, blah, 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 blah. Or it's just a straight up art project. I'm gonna put monoliths I'm gonna put monoliths around the world, let people speculate, and they'll be like, "Hey, it was me," or "Hey, it was the TikTok monolith challenge. Who can erect a 12-foot monolith that people can't easily just pull out of the ground, and then you get it out of there, and I don't know, leave no evidence." or space stuff. I don't know. Is it like if I had Magneto powers? I mean, I would want to believe that I would mostly use them to like I don't know, solve problems or save the world in some way. But most of the world's problems are on like a diplomatic level. They're on a governmental level. They're just on a people interacting with other people level. And having the powers of magnetism other than Magneto style, I will turn half of this world around and I'll turn the other half the other way around and I'll separate it. I'll separate this whole planet in half because that's established canon level of Magneto powers. That sentence is syntactually wrong, but most people know what I mean. Of course, it's a new phone. Everything's a phone photo filter. Everything's a new phone photo filter. Am I a phone photo filter yet? Can everybody just like pick up their phone and then like start talking and then my mouth moves and my eyes move around like you do with that puppet filter? Or am I still just this? This is just me over here. I've got a mug. I've got my secrets inside the mug. My tail moves. And maybe, just maybe, you're working on making me interact with that old-timey Shia LaBeouf yelling about doing it. Never giving up on your dreams video. But beyond that, this is just me with my mug, just chillin' and or illin', gangster style, thrillin', you know, if you want to keep going with that that little rhyming scheme. But, you know, let's not. Yeah, let's not. But yeah, someday, I'm gonna ride in a Cadillac, and Avocado Shakes is gonna have a Milo filter. Because it's my Milo filter, do. So anyway, what were we talking about? How did this get made? Talking about how Cats got made, and then today, Corridor Crew going through the effects of Cats and how technically the effects are fine. It's just the fact that this movie, the story, its existence is insane and unnecessary. And today's shirt to be Corridor Crewish, how halfway through the video they'll be like, hey, don't forget about this thing. We got new hats and we got new whatever. I've got a store and all that stuff. I talk about it all the time. The link should be correct in the credits at the end. But today's shirt, it's behind the screen thing, so you don't get to see it. You're welcome. Oh, that's as low as it can go. I can do this. I can figure this out. It's a Unix system. Not a Unix system. But if I go and hide window capture, bang, camera frame, hidden. There we go. So I ordered it the other day. Meow. The octopus with a Jason Voorhees mask and a couple of machetes. You want to get that? I believe it's like Redbubble slash Nudeworth probably, but you just hunt down Nikki. She's on Instagram as NOODWRTH. That's the word. That's how you spell it. But yeah, so she's got a bunch of stuff. She seems to be making like a new design just about every week. And I just got mine in the mail the other day. Get the drawing thing. Frame. Window. Ta-da! Excuse me. That's shirt news. That's shirt news. Before we go back down to the drawn camera, let's just stay up on my camera like the whole time. Just leave that camera a little in the corner, and nobody really cares. You're just drawing pictures of me anyway. So what if we just keep the camera on me? I mean, I'm here. I'm looking cool. And I mean, I never stop moving. So as long as you just keep talking, everything, everything is great. As long as I keep talking, as long as I keep talking, because I am the one who does the talking, and you are just over there drawing and waxing philosophically on the things that you saw in your neighborhood. And sometimes when you're walking down the street, there's people trapped under cars, but not this week. This week, nothing interesting. So take that, jerk face. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything. I got a haircut, and that gave me a panic attack. And I just felt freaked out for a whole weekend. And normal stuff. The adventures of COVID have popped back up again. There's a city approximately 1 hour away, the city of Halifax, and it's blowing up. It's blowing up COVID style, and the Facebook, just the comments, just the reaction of things is very bizarre. So I went out into the world, and it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And once I was getting a haircut, I was like, I shouldn't do this. This is not essential. This is not essential. This is not essential. This is not essential. The haircutting place was like empty. It was like just me and one other person getting our haircut. It wasn't that bad. They were specifically like, "Hey, have you been to Halifax? You're not from Halifax." I'm like, "No, no, like I'm from here, and I don't want to go there." Even when I was coming up here, seeing people drive down the highway, I was like, "Where are you going? Where are you guys going? Don't be going to Halifax right now." Didn't I mention this on last stream or the stream before this, where that's where it's all happening. So everybody just sit tight. And then on the internet, there's a mild little war going of, hey, it better not move north. If it does, don't shut down this. Hey, the government ever gives us money, it all goes there. And then this other thing, and blah, blah, blah. But mostly the fear of one, hey, if it moves out of town, or slash, that's where everybody goes to get their Christmas shopping. But I'm like, well, people just aren't doing that this year, right? Like, people just aren't doing that this year, so everything is still mildly safe. People are just going to shop in their own communities, and everything's going to be A and O or okay. Oh, oh, I think you can find that all of the parking lots are full. Shopping is the main thing. Keeping the economy going. It doesn't matter if there's a president or not. If everyone is dead, yeah, all the money will come to me, I assume. I have secret accounts everywhere. Go to the bubble fill, the parking lot. Everybody's got a haircut. Everything's essential. Nothing is not essential. By the beads. Remember when I sell beads? And it's true. It's true. So it's like on the same day, getting, the internet, TV, radios bombarded with, hey, don't forget, this guy says State of the Blaze is home. I still can't remember if it's the premier or a news guy that's been saying it. Either way, whoever that guy is, he's important to Nova Scotia, I think, or maybe all of Canada. Um, so there's that. The Stay the Blazes home thing is everywhere. Then there's a bunch of other stuff that is just like, hey, don't forget, a lot of people are out of work right now. Go support some stuff. Spend some money in the community. Like, I got my stuff online and it comes from a factory, and I'm taking advantage of those people who are definitely living in more COVID centric areas. So, anyway, I got a haircut. And then on the way back, or once I got home from the haircut, it was looking at my phone or whatever, and it was just like, oh, hey, the Boston Pizza here in your town is an area of concern. So if you've been there, which I haven't, I haven't really gone anywhere. I definitely am not sitting down to eat anywhere. That still seems offensive to me, and I'm sorry to people who do it. I had a good long conversation with my mom about how, I still feel weird and like a bad person just for going through drive-throughs. And uh-oh, what did I do? There we go. But But yeah, I was specifically telling my mom like Space Goonie has to work at a place where people are like, hey, take your mask off. I want to get a look at you. I want to know who I'm talking to, and that's insane. But also on the side of just like, again, if you're not wearing a mask, if you're whatever your reasons are, I don't believe most of them for not wearing a mask, but whatever they are, they're your reasons. But if somebody else is still doing their best to A, not spread it, but the best they can do is wear their own mask if you're not looking out for them, it's like Space Goonie can actually, like, be rendered dead with COVID. Like, it's just not cool. It's just not cool to play with other people's lives like that. Um, so anyway, there's that, and there was like another one where I'm just like, oh god. It's like it's because of people like me. It's because of people like me that are like, well, I'll just go get a haircut. Everybody else is doing stuff, so I'll go do a thing. Because you're supposed to still do stuff, right? We're still trying to be a part of society. We're just trying to do it safely. Is that what oh, I don't know. And then I just felt guilty for this haircut for literally the whole weekend. Mostly in that I was supposed to meet up with CTK, who's not watching live tonight. She's at work as well. Um, oh, lagging. Um, but I was meeting up with her to get her one of the comic strip books, and then I was just literally like, wrote, was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't, like, I was awake all night because I got a haircut. You work at the hospital. I was like, I don't feel right about, like, just meeting up. Like, either, you know, her stopping by here or me stopping by her place. Literally, like, can we just meet up outside somewhere? And there's, like, just picnic tables just down the street between both of our places anyway. So I'm just like, I'm way too upset, paranoid, whatever. I've just been like, you know, my neighbor next door has been just coughing himself to puking. More like I know the fact that he's been puking himself till he coughs himself half to death. It's purely alcoholism based and not COVID, but it's just like, huh, like again, like, oh, my arms are sore or whatever. Like, is that a symptom? Like, oh, it's really hot in here. Is that a fever? And it's like, no, the heater is for some reason venting off all of the heat in the world, so much so that I can hear it, like literally going from room to room on the weekend as well, like just closing all the valves I could, trying to convince myself that it is because the heater is pumping out an audible amount of heat, um, and and not because I just got a haircut, like um, so just stuff like that weighing on yourself in the world. Um, but anyway, when I did go get the haircut, I was literally like pulled up and was just like, all right, if this seems crazy, I can't do this. And get in there, and they asked me, are you in, from any of these places, which again are just an hour away. It's not like you're not coming from another country or another province. Did you spend any time down the street? Like, no. Or do you know anybody from there? Like, no, I've been avoiding everybody. Um, and while I'm there, hearing that, like, oh, so and so, or my daughter's business, my friend's business, whatever it is, like, they straight up have signs on the door that say, like, if you're from Halifax, like, we don't serve your kind. Did you come from Dartmouth or Halifax? No, you're not permitted in here. And that also just kind of broke me as well, where I'm just like, I guess I'll go home and enjoy the weekend? I'll go home and make some stuff? I'll go home and just draw some pictures about some things, and maybe try to have Milo interact with Shia LaBeouf. Normal things that you look towards doing, and then yeah, then I spent most of it just watching random YouTubes and Community again, and I forget what else. Just mostly random YouTubes and British panel shows, and not really doing much creativity stuff over the weekend. A lot of things picked at and partially worked on, but didn't complete anything and didn't really care to because, yeah, it literally was just like a bunch of people just lost their jobs again, and there's nothing I can do about it. Except just stay at home. And if I do want to go visit my mom at Christmas time, which is like we're still within the same bubble at the moment, and that was the other thing talking to her about, where it was just like, well, it was like, see what happens, I guess. Is like if the bridge between, you know, the mainland and the island gets shut down, then no, I won't be coming to visit. But if everything is still normal, it's like I can get from there to here without stopping, and then vice versa. But yeah, and then the other thing is like, if it seems like stuff is going to get shut down, then no, I can't come visit because this is where my job is. I can't, you know, luckily for me, I work from home. But if I get trapped somewhere else, then that's it. Like I'm out of work. Like there's nothing I can do. And it's weird, like, I mean, every year I'm always kind of shocked that American Thanksgiving is so close to Christmas, and that it's like also my brother's birthday. Oh, that was the other thing that freaked me out. Uh, Speaking of vaccines around the corner, was watching the news about, oh, by the way, Canada doesn't make stuff like that. That has to be shipped in. So we're making preparations to buy enough vaccines and get it into the country and then disperse it in the best way we can, you know, from the who need it the most, whoever's the most important or whatever. And it's just like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. So even if, you know, the people who are working at it here, there, everywhere, get to it first. Because I was starting to think, I was like, well, the American vaccine, like, whoever makes the vaccine, like, we're all going to share vaccine. It's a worldwide deal. Even if that other maniac doesn't seem like he wants to share. But, so yeah, there still is going to be some sort of waiting period, even when it does come through for Canada, anyway. But other places are like basically getting ready to, if not starting to roll out the things. Canada is getting ready to house everything. They're getting all the supplies, enough supplies to do it. So as it comes through, there won't be a backlog of waiting for other stuff. But yeah, it's just it's surprising how much, you know, more messy it is than I ever thought it was, I guess. I don't know. Um, so anyway, you take all that stuff, you pile it into your head, and you scroll through your phone, and then, yeah, you just don't sleep for 2 days. To a point where Sunday morning, like Friday, I didn't really sleep. Saturday, I didn't really sleep. Sunday, I don't think that's when I was talking to my mom. I was saying to somebody anyway that I just had a dream basically where I was just really trying to fall asleep, and then I had this dream where again we've crossed this road where my dreams are weird, they're very real, and they affect me for the whole rest of the day. if I remember them. And lately, they've been just sparse enough that I'm just like, I don't really remember that. It's fine. And this one dream I woke up from where I was in just a room for there was tons of people, like lots of people. I guess it was my job. I was around a lot of people, but I just know that I was surrounded by people. I couldn't quite do whatever it is I was supposed to do. Again, I assumed some sort of work type project. I was just too tired, and I felt like my eyes were just burning out of my head within this dream, and the dream basically ended on me possibly, I don't think flipping a table. I might have jumped up on a table or just pounded my fists on the table. But it was just like, hey, do the thing. Oh, what about the thing? And then I'm just like, I have not slept in 5 months. And I'm not sure. I think the pandemic has been 9 months. And I meant to say 9 months. But whatever it is, it's like, I haven't slept since this thing started. Have you all just been sleeping and feeling good about this and just like, yeah, tomorrow's another day. Don't worry about things. Yeah, a giant part of the population has died. But in my part of the dream was just screaming like, I'm so tired. Like, you know what? I give up. And I don't think I flipped over a table full of computers, but I feel like everybody was kind of like, hey, now let's party. Like, I didn't have the energy to do any of the things today, and now you want to have a party about it? No, leave me alone. And I'll, to be fully honest, most of that does go back to when I did work in a studio, and at least once every 2 weeks there would be a situation where it's like, hey, let's all like hang out and party now. Let's have a party to celebrate the work that we did. And I'm the horrible person that's just like, what if I go home instead? I'd rather go home. I mean, it's fun to hang out with you guys, but I've already hung out with you guys way beyond the maximum point of hangoutitude. So I'm gonna go home now. No offense to anybody. Please enjoy and have the fun. But but I'm good. I'm good. It's not that I hate everybody here, but since we are co-workers and we're doing a job, I definitely do hate some of you. Some of you make my life a living day-to-day nightmare, a waking day-to-day nightmare of my life. And I don't want to see you have fun. You almost said an Abe right there, didn't you? You were like, "Ooh, should I just say Joel? I should just say Joel. Just say Joel. That's always the fun one. You Joel knows that you think he's the funnest guy, and you think Joel is fun, and you had a great time, and he never actually ruined your life. But it was fun to pretend that he did. But then the other people, who you will not name, don't say them, but just say Joel. Let's just go with Joel. Joel. Joel was fun. But thanks to people like Joel, there were a lot of, TV studio animation days where it was just like, I'm tired of work. And then Joel bursts in like, hey, we're all drawing weird pictures. This is the challenge. Draw one and put it up on the board. Like, okay. Do. And it wasn't disruptive. And there was a lot of times where he was just like, you hate my work. Like, you're always redoing it. Like, yeah. Mostly because it was just a bunch of easy stuff, and I liked what I had in my head better. It didn't mean that yours needed to be changed or for any reason. You have a style, I have a style. I was going for this, and I'm the boss, so we're gonna put what I wanted in there instead of you. And then someday you're gonna be like the center of Canadian animation and independent film, and you're gonna be a hero to many. Excuse me, and he is. He is like his hands are in everything. It's amazing. But when Joel came to the studio, he was but a wee boy, fresh out of school, mind full of craziness and sports. But he didn't ruin my days. That was other people who I will not specifically name. Oh, Alex. What? You definitely just said Alex. That one, you are definitely not hiding at all. Cause I mean, I can see it. I can see it in your head. You're like itching to tell some Alex stories, cause you know, they were hilarious, and you called him on his shits. So it's cool. I mean, it's cool. He knows. I mean, he doesn't know how much of a torment he was. Except that one time when you specifically told him you're ruining people's lives and he should gear down and stop trying to do things so wrong. That was a fun day. That was a weird day. Oh man. I won't say his last name, but it is rolling through my head. I'm pretty sure Alex is the right first name. But working in TV this one time, one room was the rough animators. The other room was the cleanup animators. And this one guy was just draw stuff, but nothing looked like things. He just drew, and sometimes it's like, yeah, it looks fun and everything, but I don't know what you think is supposed like. This has to go to a cleanup crew, and then they're supposed to trace over what you've drawn and just make the lines clean. But with your rough drawing, still has to look like something. Like these roughs right here that I'm doing, I think are wildly unacceptable to give to a cleanup crew. I would still clean these up a little bit before I gave them to somebody else to do a perfect line over. And this one night, I specifically was just like, okay, like, I'm getting so many complaints about your work specifically. Something has to be done. This is insane. He's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, what's so confusing about it? So I was like, all right, look at this scene here. There's 3 characters. One is a fully human-sized lady. If I was... I got a poster of the show right over there. If I was brazen, I would grab one of these cameras and turn it. One was a full-size human lady. The other was the main character, a small boy that's like Milo size, a little 3 foot tall character, big, like long, giant head. And a lizard named Jorge, rectangular head, about the same height as Ollie, Ollie. But like his head was much smaller, longer body, claws, different number of fingers. Ollie wore shoes. Jorge had exposed like claw feet, and the human-sized lady was wearing sandals and like a caveman style like Wilma top. These 3 characters are like climbing a ladder or something up onto a thing. And it was just kind of wisps of movement, sometimes shapes, and then but when you'd like play through it frame by frame, the cleanup people were like, look at this. I have no idea after like the second frame which character is which. And one of these characters is twice the height of the other one. One of them is a lizard, and one of them is a boy. How is it that I can't tell who's who? And they're like crossing over each other and just switching places, and it's just impossible to tell. And I'm just like, honestly, it was like after this certain point, it was like, I can't even guess. I don't even want to make an executive decision. I'm just going to go make him do it again. So I brought it back over to him and was just like, hey, what's up with this? Like, this is unacceptable. You're really going to have to tighten this up. Like, what? Well, what do you mean unacceptable? Like, how? This is how animation's done. Like, I'm really just I'm drawing the energy of it, the movement. Then it's their job to figure it out after that. It's like, no, we have 0 time. Like, they have half as much time to clean this as you do to animate it. So their job is just to trace your professional majesty, not your professional whimsicality. It has to look like who it is. And I was just getting him on this all the time, where he would literally just completely change the shape of things. put them in different outfits halfway through a scene, or it's just like, this is a 2 second scene. Why is he wearing a different outfit? Like, oh, I just thought it would be like interesting if whatever. But if you wanted the other way, then yeah, you can have them just put the right clothes back on him. Like, no, that's not how this is. That's not what we're doing. Somebody's gonna murder you. Somebody's gonna straight up kill you. And I'm going to, go to court and I'll be like, honestly, asking for it. Sorry, he might as well have been poking a room full of 7 people with a stick all week long and then was like, what? Why would they want to murder me? I've only given them nothing to work with, and within the nothingness, made it all jumbled up and confusing. So after this happened a bunch of times where I'm just like, please, can you just look at the model sheet? Like, we're doing it in computer. You can take just like what I'm doing here, where I grab the head and just trace it over another thing. You can just keep tracing over what you've done. You can copy and paste after drawing it the one time, honestly, if it's not animated too much. So that would be great. Can you do that for me? That would be great. So he didn't. And I got another scene that was just insane yet again. And I was like, all right, cool. Cool. And I can't remember if he wasn't there that night, he was out for the night, or if it was just when people went off to lunch. When people went off to lunch, I usually stayed there and kept working on stuff, or just ate at my desk, or I would go leave at a different time so as not to mingle with everybody. Because I'm a monster. But mostly, hey, if I go to lunch with everybody, then everybody's going to still talk to me about their animation problems, and I would like to just eat. And if I'm going to be dealing with animation problems anyway, I'll just stay and keep dealing with animation problems whilst I eat instead of just hearing about them. I don't know. So, while everybody was gone, but I feel like, no, it wasn't. He wasn't there that night because people were watching me going, is this cool? And I was going, I don't care if it's cool or not. You know what's cool is when you don't care if people think you're cool or not. So yeah, this is the coolest. Marge Simpson rules apply. So I printed out, or I already had a stack, I'm sure, but I printed out every model sheet we had. All of the model sheets for every character, mostly the main characters, but like everything that was coming up and that you really needed to look at. So I printed those out, had a stack of model sheets on legal size paper. I put his desktop, I changed it to the model sheets of the show, and then I covered his whole desk. I taped it all down until his whole desk was completely wrapped, sealed in model sheets of the show that he worked on. The wall beside his desk, model sheets. Things that he had covered with model sheets. Now, everybody was always doing weird stuff like that in the studio, so I never expected anybody to, get upset about it. But I guess he did. Like, what is this? Why is this? Who would do such a thing? Coming to me to complain about whoever did it, whereas I'm just like, keep going. Tell me why else this is unacceptable. And I've got a little cat inside my head that is screaming unacceptable back at you. He didn't exist then, but still, somewhere deep down, ready to scream unacceptable. So I just waited, and then yeah, he explained like, oh, like this is a fact. Like how dare they? Like, what does this even mean? Like, it must be the cleanup people. Like, oh, must it? Why must it be the cleanup people? Because you don't use the model sheets? Is that why? Is it because if I compare any of your scenes to the model sheets, they're uncomparable? Nothing compares. Nothing compares. Sinead? Is that a Sinead O'Connor song? Anyway, So then I, was just like, oh, it was me. It was me. I am the mastermind with all of the tape and the time to tape over your desk with all these things because I need you to use the model sheets. And yes, I may have gone too far, but I also kind of don't care anymore because I feel like you have gone too far for too long, and this is what we're going with. And we don't have an HR department, so this is what we're going with. Feel free. Maybe I took it all off on my own where it was like, all right, you go to lunch, I'll clean off your desk. But seriously, use the model sheets. I might have done that for him. Now, just about every night or so, if not at least every week, I'd have to find people's scenes. People would forget to put them in the right place, so I would go to their computers because I'm over here trying to compile a show so we can go through editing so can become an actual show. Just about every week at the weekly meeting, I would tell people, by the way, guys, don't install this, this, and that. Your computers can't handle this. Please just run the programs that we need, and that is all. And don't forget, these are not your computers. These are the studio's computers. And if I need to do something on them, they're my computers. I've set most of them up. I went in. I'm the one who installed your RAM. I'm the one who installed all your programs. I built this studio, after the tech guy showed me how to. But these are my machines. Don't do anything weird. And I don't need to explain what that is because we all live in the normal fiscal world. And in spite of that, my studio manager, or whatever he was, studio manager, pulled me into his office one day and was like, "Hey, we got to talk about this thing that you did." And I'm like, "Oh, hmm, interesting, because I'm not wrong. So let's talk about it." And I was pretty sure he wasn't going to, you know, call me the bad guy. Um, but I can't remember. I think I might have got a talking to about the model sheets first. And I was like, well, you can't do that. And I'm like, do I? I don't really know anything. I'm just an idiot animator who was given some power, and I choose to paper things. This same studio manager decided one day to put a pile of furniture in front of that one cleanup room door. During the day, it was the animator room, but he just piled all of the desks and all of the things, and then one of the animators was just like, oh, unacceptable, like kind of flipped out because, you felt trapped in this room that was also just the room that you already felt trapped in. Had one little window just covered in pigeons, if not pigeon turds, all the time. Uh, so it's not like, you know, I definitely didn't do the worst things at the studio when it came to doing things. I told you how they started a gun club. They started a gun club where they would shoot BB guns, pellet guns, or both inside the studio at the corkboards. Set up cameras, put them behind pieces of glass, shooting at things. Usually on the other side of my door. We're just gonna close your door real quick. We're gonna shoot in this direction. Tick, 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 tick. Bouncing off my door like a hailstorm. But the other thing that I kind of got an actual talking to that I was like, oh no, no thanks. You're not giving me a talking to about this. I am 60% right on this one. Maybe I'll give myself 70%. I definitely might have gone about it in a different way, but instead I did not. So going through his computer, trying to find some scenes that I needed, and some people's machines were just a mess, like just poorly organized, nothing labeled the way it should be labeled. So I'm like, I gotta dig through and find things. This computer, however, um, I can't remember if it was organized or not, but there was a lot of pornography on it. And one, I was pretty sure, I don't think I went back and checked, but I was pretty sure everyone's contract specifically said, like, these computers don't get used for anything except work, and you definitely don't put any sort of, like, contraband or pornography on them. That's insane. So, just, there was lots. There was plenty. So, I took all of it. This is how I know. This is, where the 30%, 20%, maybe 40% wrong comes in. Where instead of, the right thing is, hey, there's a pile of porn on this computer. Whoever's in charge of people deal with this. I am the animation supervisor. I am not the pornography and content supervisor. You're the studio manager, you manage the studio, or you're the whatever. There's people for this. But I worked nights. I'm the last law. I didn't break the law. I am the law, and I might have said that. I might have said it 16 times, and I also might have said I am the last one. So, mostly it just comes down to, again, like, things would happen in the studio where it's like, by the way, if you put, like, these weird, horrific pictures up, and then we, have a studio tour, we're in a lot of trouble. Like, we get our money from good, wholesome people, and they don't want to think that we're all disgusting, and this is a kid's show, so if, like, we bring kids through, it has to be family friendly. So anyway, mostly I was just like, if somebody else checks this computer, and they're like, hey, did you know everyone's loading porn on their computers at night? And then I'm just like, if I get blamed for this, I get blamed for this. Like, I'm not taking the blame for this, so please deal with it. So instead of just straight up deleting it, I took all of his desktop icons and moved them all off to the side. Took the porn folder, or took all of the porn, put them into one folder, and seen just like, this folder has as many megabytes as your work folder, so that's crazy and unacceptable. But I took the one folder and put it like in the middle of his computer, and I either changed his desktop or I did something so that there was an arrow pointing towards that folder, and then a big piece of text just saying, like, what do you think this is? Like, you delete this. This is inappropriate. Put this on your own machine or whatever. It's like, I didn't delete all the stuff because it was like, there's a slight chance he might be like, oh, this is my reference photos for drawing things or whatever. And he did say that, but it was like, none of this is reference photo. This is just straight up porn. And then he was just like, well, he's like, people send you stuff. Like, you don't just, what, I'm just supposed to delete it, walk away? Like, like, so-and-so sends me this, so-and-so sends me that. And he's naming people that are from this studio and or another studio. And I'm just like, actually, no, it was one guy who used to sit right across from where this guy sits now, but he had left. But he was like, oh, that's from this guy. Like, it's from that guy. Like, sometimes, like, he'll just send me, like, every night or whatever. Like, he basically, like, here you go, check these out. Okay. So what then? Like, yeah, well, what, I'm just supposed to, and that was his thing. It was like, oh, just nothing? Like, you don't have to download them to your work computer. If somebody who isn't me is looking for files, and I picked out a few people, was like, what if so-and-so over there, right? What if they come over to your computer and they need to find some files, or they just need to use your computer? You're out for the day, computers get swapped around as they do. This is not your computer. Other people use it. And during the day, somebody else did use it. It was gift computers. It was like, but what if this specific person saw that? Like, then what? Like, maybe that could be turned into like an assault type thing, because again, she shouldn't have to throw on this computer and then open up a folder and oops, I'm in a landslide of pornography. And that landslide takes you down, and I don't want to go down with you. You understand? And it was just like, well, this is unacceptable. So then when I was taken into my to my supervisor's office just to be like, hey, we got to talk about this, and I'm just like, yeah, he's like, he's really upset that you like basically went through his private stuff, and I'm just like, oh, that's what we're talking about? Okay. And pretty much like somewhere in my head, like that switch flips of just like, if you are taking the side of the opposite of what the contracts say, then that's fine. If this is where I get fired, that's okay. If this is why I get fired, that's fine. But I know that I might be being an annoying stickler for things, but we have meetings about this all the time. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And yeah, and basically just that is like that was my I'm pleading the avocado shakes on this. Like there's no such thing as their private stuff. So like my next 9 meetings after that was, by the way, guys, sometimes now I'm just gonna go drifting through computers just to see what I can find. Because they're all my computers. They're all my computers. And if you load up this program, it'll be deleted in the morning. I was deleting stuff all the time, just for fun. Like, hey, these 3 computers burnt out. Do you know why? You keep trying to run 3D Studio Max on it. 2 problems. That's illegal. You can't be loading illegal software. No, actually, it's nope. This studio runs these programs. Nobody at this company is paid for that. Get it off here. And if your computer burns out, then I'm going to know that it's probably because for some reason you're learning and rendering 3D stuff while you're doing 2D animation. What is wrong with people? But it was the old days. It's back when, stealing software was much easier and more fun. Everyone was doing it. So by the end of that, whoa. So by the end of that conversation, um, I wasn't the bad guy. It was just a matter of, yeah, no, like what I just said. That's why I'm right. But yes, I did it in a weird way where I put like, hey, this shouldn't be here. Care to explain or whatever I said, and it's just like blah blah blah. They don't get to have private time on their work computer because if they do, then they're not working. And again, that makes me a monster. Uh, but I don't know. I was trying to keep a studio going, trying to keep everyone out of jail, just trying to make a kids show, trying to sneak cats into the background, putting myself in the background of scenes whenever I could. That was my illegality, and of course, the secret folder of horrific things that we would all do, mostly me, but we would all do to the characters. Oh my God, something just happened. A day with Day has followed May. That is exactly what I have to say. I know that from looking at my events, eh? I feel like they followed before, or maybe they were just watching. But anyway, hey, a day with Day. Hey, indeed. But I think I honestly, after that point, after I threatened start taking stuff from everybody to start checking people's computers, I never looked ever again after that. It was just like, what? Hey, I think people just being like, I think so and so might have it. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just get your work done. Nobody cares. Who cares? We're just making cartoons. My lines are lagging. Not as bad as last time. But, speaking of funny real things from life, I meant to say this last time when I was just playing video games. But I forgot. But this one day, I was here, and I was like on my way out, and in the process, I was also just in mid-message with Space Goonie, I believe. Um, and whatever the sequence was, all of a sudden the cat across the hall just started like just meow, just started meow, meow, like this just unimaginably loud just cat squeal, as cats do. It's not that, I'm not uh surprised by it, but just like why, what's happening? Like that cat got real loud all of a sudden, and nobody's home to take it out. I think probably the reason is that cat goes outside to use the bathroom and goes like for walks and stuff, and nobody was home, so it was probably just like I need to go to the bathroom, and normally I come to the door and meow until somebody lets me out. So since I was on my way out, open the door. I'm gonna throw my phone on, and instead of saying, "Hey, Space Goonie, the cat across the hall is meowing insanely," I'm just gonna take a quick video audio file of the door and then hit send and just be like, "Meh, this is a crazy sound, is it not?" Um, so I took out my phone. I hit record. It's pointed at the door across the hall. My door is open, and the cat stops. And instead of the cat meowing, some neighbors upstairs, I guess, are on their way out of the building. And, okay, on the right layer. And I hear slash record, to me, plain as day. The audio, not so clear and loud, but plain as day. I'm sitting there expecting to record 4 seconds of a cat squealing into the air. I hear this lady's voice. Oh, I should have checked, but I believe it said, um, "Oh, I forgot the thing. Oh, oh, I'm such a whore." It's just like, what? Like, no, no, that is definitely not the word you were looking for. I don't think, but hilarious to just overhear like, oh, I forgot the thing. Like in the, but it was literally like that. Like, I forgot the thing. Like, I'm not making up a random word. Just like, I forgot the thing. Such a stupid whore. And then turn around and hear doors open and close or whatever again. I'm just like, all right, stop. Send that to Space Goonie instead. Just like, yeah, I was trying to record this cat moaning. Instead, this lady said that. And then Space Goonie just saying, I can't quite hear it. Did she just call herself a whore? Yes. Yes, she did. Clean up there. As near as, like I said, haven't really gone anywhere, done anything. Try my best. Try my best. Try my best. Eat good things. But every time I go outside, I'm like, you know what I should bring back home from outside is more ice cream. And as much as I don't eat ice cream, getting Ben and Jerry's, like, I guess it's made with almonds, but like non-dairy ice cream, which is mostly in the last few times giant chunks of frozen peanut butter, pile of cookies, and some ice cream. And it's just like, I'm just eating a bucket of cookies. Especially considering last time I got the groceries was, you know what was great? Last time I was afraid of the pandemic and I went to the grocery store and got a bunch of stuff. That's when I started getting 2 full-size packages of Chewy Chips Ahoy cookies. And I didn't get 2, but I got 1 full-size, and in my head it was just like, this is going to be great. I'm going to throw these in the microwave. I'm going to heat them up for 11 or 12 seconds. Then I'm going to get some ice cream and put them on there, even though this ice cream is already jam-packed with cookies. So then once I got home, it was like, that point is moot and stupid and unnecessary. So I'm just going to eat the cookies and eat the ice cream separately. And within 2 days, all cookies decimated. Within like 3 days, all the ice cream decimated. But still, mostly just got, mostly got all just plant-based, fake meats. Haven't filled my fridge with a pile of meat yet, so that's good. Definitely haven't really been exercising. In some of my highest levels of COVID paranoia, where it is just like, does this mean? Is this like, again, like, oh, like my back is kind of sore. Is this a symptom, like some soreness in the back, or is that because it was too hot to sleep in my bedroom, so I went out and laid on the couch for way too long, and now my back is ruined? It's probably that. And then I would do some yoga or a few stretches for like literally 5-8 minutes, and then feel a bit better. And it's just like, okay, gotta remember that you can't get rid of your COVID symptoms by doing 5 minutes of yoga, so that's fine. And then, some other times, like, oh my god, like, or mostly it was just like, once you start getting on a roll of feeling, it's just like, oh, it's too hot in here. Like, is it because it's too hot in here, or is this a fever? Because I don't feel like I have a fever. I feel like I'm in a very hot room where I can see the heat, I can hear the heat, and if I walk over to that part of the room, it like practically pushes me away, like some sort of Mega Man villain shooting heat rays and tractor beams. Then the other one is like, oh, so once I'm doing that, it's just like, oh, is this shortness of breath? Shortness of breath is one of them. Then I'm like, oh, wait, okay. Is this shortness of breath, or did I stop breathing? Because I'm pretty sure I was just on the phone with my mom talking until her arms went numb. So I don't think you can do that when you're having trouble breathing, right? I think I'm just not breathing. I'm probably just, I think I'm not breathing. Just tell myself to breathe. Hey, idiot, why not breathe? And then I jump in and I'm like, hey, you silly idiot, stupid faith. Stop hyperventilating. Stop being afraid of things and just breathe. It's like that thong that's like, just breathe. But I don't remember what that thong is, but there's probably a lot of them. Either way, I'm there and I'm like in your corner and you're like, hey, Milo, thanks for the update. And I'm like, no problem, dog. That's what I'm here for, to keep everyone alive and safe and remind them that you can buy mugs and new merchandise at society6.com/MrCurtoons. And then there's other links to the other store as well if you need that. No, none of commercial is great. You can buy things there. But yeah, no, all week long, I have to say that You are never the one that says, "Oh, excuse me, make sure to breathe." It's always just my own voice, and that's the way I like it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Once again, like if I'm here, why not? Why not take advantage? Why not just let me be? But I could Jiminy Cricket. I could guide that conscience, and then you let that conscience be your guide, and then whatever. I'm here. Like just let me be your subconscious. No, uh, enough subconscious thing. What's that thing? Let me just exist. Let me during the week. Why is that so tough? And then you'll be like, oh, I'm having a rough day, and I'll be like, oh, rough day, is it? Oh, let me pour you a cup of hot Joe into one of these mugs, and then let's talk about it. No, no, because that's psychosis. That's craziness. All right, I pride myself on only talking to cartoon characters when they've been drawn, or when I plan to draw them. Yeah, no, you're not permitted to Jiminy Cricket my life. Excuse me, at all. That seems like it would be a good idea. That's all. Hey, bros, I could also help out. I'm a great at guidance, and also an excellent surfing instructor, dudes. Hey, guys, have you seen this movie, The Matrix? It's like you're there, but you're not there, because of computers and stuff. Thanks, Ted. Thanks. That'll be enough. Oh, man. Yeah, mostly just the fact that like so many not symptoms but so many feelings, effects of just having panic or anxiety are still similar to a worldwide virus, worldwide virus. And didn't mean to go to this camera. Hi, Pat camera. There we go. But yeah, stuff like that. So even the same deal is just like when I get upset. Also, I just generate heat anyway. So then I'm just like, oh no, now I'm getting warm again. Is this a just like nope, no, not at all. Calm down. And compounded and all that again, like I said, like knowing that I was supposed to meet up with CTK, it was like, oh, like I'm looking forward to this. Like I haven't talked to a real person aside from like the grocery store lady in so long that it'll be cool to like talk to somebody for a minute and and that feel connected to the world again. Like that'll be a good thing. Uh, and then the weight of again, there's always the two wolves inside you. One of you is like, go for it, dog, and the other one is like, safety first. So I'm both just like, I need to go see people. I need to talk to a person because this is crazy and I'm tired and it's just been a long weekend. Um, Feeling upset, and but also the thing that will make me feel better is the thing I'm worried about. So again, just the like, I don't want to be the one. You work at a hospital. I don't want to be the one that helps. Take this from the haircutting place, drop it to you, and then you keep walking over there, and then the hospital shut down. But mostly, like we ended up kind of talking about that thing of like again, like people saying like, "Well, masks don't even work." Like they're not even like, I get it. Nothing actually works, but the best that we can do. And the example I built up in my head is, um, like when you were in school, in like say elementary school or whatever, when somebody got a cold, and it should be guaranteed that everybody in the class gets a cold or flu, whatever it is. But realistically, if patient zero, if Ross's monkey is coughing and sneezing, in the back corner, then only the people around them, and if those people don't really associate with other people, but if basically it's like if a popular person gets sick, then they're talking to more people, so the spit just flows around. So, but just because you're spitting in my face doesn't mean I'm going to get a cold. But the mask helps in decreasing that, because we all know, we all have had that time where you're having a conversation with somebody and either you notice, oh, that was a big old chunk of spit from my face just flew right by their head or right on them, or they do it and both of you either just like, we both know that just happened, but let's just keep talking because it's not really a big deal. Spit happens when you talk. And now we live in a world where it is just like trying to keep down the concentration of random spittle. Some of it's just going to be random spittle, some of it's going to be deadly spittle. Some people spit more than when they talk, some people don't. And this way it is just like, it definitely is keeping it down and decreasing it. Um, and that's the best that we can do. There's 1,000 reasons why it doesn't work. The fact that I can still breathe through a mask means that, yeah, stuff still gets through. But the fact that people have such a hard time wearing a mask means that there is still some protection, and or at least if you are a spitty talker, it's catching most of it, and or the distance isn't getting right in my face, or I'm not getting right in your face, and we could both, go to sleep knowing that we weren't uh, spitting on people all day. But anyway, just that, where it's like, yeah, everybody's comparing it to the cold or the flu and this and that, and it's like, yep. And that helps it make more sense to me, where it's like, yeah, there's a very good chance of getting the cold and flu when that happens. But meanwhile, it's been almost a year, and I didn't get a cold or flu last Christmas or last winter, or that weird summer flu that you always get. I didn't get any of those things, and I have to chalk it up to wearing a mask and not being around people. So again, once everybody returns to or decides like, yeah, we got a vaccine, let's all have a birthday party. There's definitely going to be a line drawn in the sand between people that are like, oh, you still spit on cakes? Oh, that's cool. Like, I'll come to your party. I'll bring some of my own food in a little baggie or whatever, and I'll just eat that instead of, putting my hands in a big bowl of what everybody's putting their hands into and spitting over while they talk across a table full of stuff. We all loved a table full of candy and food and treats. But that's where we stand. That's where we talk. That's where we spit. It's where from away from we should walk. That was too labored. But yeah, like I have so many masks now. The main thing I do is just if I see masks, I have a very hard time not checking them out and thinking like, yep, why not? I think I still have some that are still in the packages, and it's just like, that's good. Some of them are thicker. Some of them have multiple layers. Some of them have a slot for filter pad, and they have filter pads in them. Some of them I put more than one filter pad in them. Yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah, I'm just kind of like, I kind of don't want to not wear one out in public anymore. I'm definitely, I always avoided eating birthday cake anyway, mostly because of the 90% of birthday cakes are garbage, except when it's like, oh, an ice cream cake. I want that. I want that. And then a 50-50 of how old? Like, is this a kid's birthday? And did they just spit all over that? No. They have all the diseases, and I don't want them. Or, hey, was this some old person? Gross. I don't want their spit on cake either. But yeah, it's gonna be hard not to wear a mask, I think. There are weird times where I definitely feel like, oh, good, I'm finally, you know, uh, I'm finally at the person I need to talk to. Like, wait, no, taking my mask off is the wrong thing to do. Uh, it was when they weren't around is when I take it off. But it still happens a lot. Like, see a lot of people doing it. People just randomly like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, oh, there. You know, nobody's forced me to keep this on, but I'm talking at you, so I'm going to take my mask off now. Like, I mean, I find it insane I'm tempted to comment on the Facebook internet posts that are just like, remember everybody, the mask goes over your nose. And I just want to write like, shut up. Just shut up. If people need to know that, it's not going to happen through a post telling them at this point. It's been 9 months, and it's not about telling people how to wear a mask. It's about people just being either indignant or just too stupid or just, I guess, indignant is still just being a jerk. Um, but I'm definitely like I said, I wasn't much for birthday cake in anyway. But I am never going back to the ways of spit covered desserts. Ah, yes, that's what I started to say 5 hours ago. Um, was that mask, cake spit, vaccine. Ah, lost it again. Oh, no. I don't know if that's what I was going to say. But basically, something about normalcy and how. Oh, yes, that's what it was. Never mind. It was Thanksgiving. How Thanksgiving is so close to Christmas is insane to me, but we can easily see how many people were just like trying to outwit the rules of their state, province, country, and trying to outwit just an semi-airborne, spittle-based, virus, so they could still go meet up. And then the helpful tips from the news, from the government, from the police, like, hey, have it outside. Use disposable utensils. Don't share anything. No singing. Don't sing at each other. Singing is very dangerous now when you're hanging out. And all of it was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. And still, mostly it was just like, if you guys were at least all on the same page, that it's like we're just trying to be together, we're just trying to be around our family, we're trying to connect. But it mostly seemed like, a, most of us are going to go to war with each other when we do get together because we all have opposing feelings about this, and a lot of it is just about doing those same old traditions when it's, as the world changes, as things change, it's important to be able to grow and change yourself, but to understand that some traditions also have to change and will change. It's that same thing of like parents getting used to like, hey, mom and dad, like I've got my whole family now, so we're gonna have our own Christmas instead of me packing up the kids and all the things and coming to stay with you for a week, because we've got a whole family worth of stuff here, and for a lot of people, that's beyond like unacceptable. Just like, no, this is what we do. This is how Christmas is. This is how Thanksgiving is. This is how this particular part of July is. We do this thing. We explode this. We set this thing on fire, and anything else is unacceptable. And sometimes you just have to find your new acceptable. And accept that as human beings, as living creatures, that none of us has found what we're looking for. Right, Bono? That's right. Don't have a Bono character to talk to. And we won't. And we won't. I wonder where Batman is. I genuinely don't know where Batman is. Like I said, I have been changing things. I put everything back together, moved a few things around, but I genuinely don't know where Batman is on location today. I can tell you where he is. I know exactly where he is. I have the answer, but I will not give you those answers at this time. Later, I'm forced to do a thing, but I will not tell you right now. Yes, yes, I know. Ugh, you know the answer, but you're not. Ugh, what an awful, awful thing. Notice I didn't say person. Because he's just not a person. You'll see, he said. You'll see over the next few weeks. We've got a lot more things up our sleeve. So you really don't care about anything. You're just trying to be the winner of Crazy Town. Meanwhile, other politicians are taking their time. Play some Among Us. There's a siren in the distance. There have been so many sirens today. Like from morning till now, that's like the 9th siren today. It's never that many. Maybe 12th? We're out looking for loopholes. Loopholes. We're out looking for loopholes. But yeah, Ripley. Meow, 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 meow. Awesome. Let's see where Batman is. It's been a little while. It feels like, and maybe I changed it. Did I even change it? It's been so long. I don't. Maybe he's nowhere. Maybe he won't even be there. I think he's at least there. Meow, 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 meow. Thank you, Ripley. Thank you, everybody. I'm live on location. I'm still on the street. I'm ducked down very low, so no one can notice me hiding behind these motorcycles. I'm watching everything, but nothing has really changed since the last time. The street is the same. The people are the same. And everything is copacetic. Thanks. Just realized I've been talking for 2 hours, and didn't take a drink before I did Batman voice. That's just unacceptable. Today's juice got a banana, got some frozen kale, got a little bit of baby spinach, and some lettuce that's mixed in with the spinach. I forgot to put a mandarin in it. I didn't really forget. I was too lazy to peel open a mandarin. And don't think I have any lemons left. Forgot that I had some carrots still to put in. Didn't put those in. Like a half a cup, maybe a cup of blueberries, a couple fistfuls of strawberries. And then a bunch of that Oasis deliciously purple juice. Deliciously red. I think deliciously purple is what I got. And like I always say, pretty sure pre-mixed juices from the store that are just pure liquid, don't have anything in them. And when you look at the side of the container, regardless of how many fruits or vegetables they say are in there, there's not a whole lot of nutritional information. So I mix my own in a blender. What kind of blender? Let's let some stop motion guys tell you what kind of blender. They didn't update the stop motion guys yet still. What are they called? Oh, there we go. Speaking of blenders, what's my favorite kind of blender? You must be talking about your Ninja blender, the only blender that I recommend and that I endorse through ninjutsu of both the blending kind as well as the karate kicking kind. It's the best. It's sharp. It's got many blades, like a bunch of little baby swords, ready to kill and chop everything. I guess not kill, just maim some already sliced up vegetables. Isn't that right, JV? He knows what I'm talking about. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Haven't really run that voice in a while, and that wasn't totally it, but close enough. Close enough. Here to draw comic strips, not do voices. Spleesh. Spleesh. Me. We're out looking. No. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it will soon be here. Any day now. Yesterday will be gone. Yesterday will be gone. So even if the world is shut down, you can't sit around working on your frown. This day will be gone. This day will be gone. So fill it with something that's not too wrong. Maybe write a song. Maybe write a song. Until this day is replaced with tomorrow. And yesterday is just a day away. Because sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks. Whilst these two gumshoes here, they're picking up what? They're picking up the slacks. There's no slacks too big, no slacks too small. If you need your slacks picked up, then just call Chip and or Dale, and Gadget 2, Monterey Jack, and Zipper. They're all here on the Disney Channel. Whipper? When's the last time I played Mega Man? Whenever the last time I streamed playing a Mega Man, that's like almost a year ago for sure. Hey, you know what today was? Today was apparently my 3-year anniversary of working at the Streamlabs. Come on, ride the Streamlabs. Come ride it. Eh? Why I'm using, or even know that Streamlabs OBS is a thing, is because they gave me a job. And I make art for fancy, famous streamers and whatnot. Working on some stuff for Matt Keefe of Kichi Chaos, or he's called Kichi Chaos of Trivium, the metal band. He's always on doing stuff. He needs a lot. He has a pretty big list that I've found somewhat overwhelming. But part of it was, hey, I want a little cartoony version of Matt Heafy for Christmas stuff for the holidays, and I animated that, and I was pretty happy with it. I was really hoping to send it out today, but I didn't. I still gotta come up with like 2, maybe 3 more animations. But they're still kind of fun, and I really, hopefully he uses them right away, and he should, because it is already the holidays, so I got a lot of stuff to get done this week. But man, oh man, I'm pretty happy. Hopefully he does use it and like it, because that I also can't guarantee. But I was pretty happy with what I did today, and I would love to be able to post it on my Instagram. How did I just change that knife? I think it turned out adorable. Are those Twitch mailboxes filled with confetti? Filled with a party? Nope. One tiny little gnat fly something that's been in here for the past few days. I just haven't been able to get them. Seem to be dead by now. Really just hovering around me for some reason. Got him. That's what you get for going in my mouth and nose. A little fruit fly. Trying to find my juice. Talking about my fruit fly. Trying to sip on my juice. Flying round with his mind on my juice. And his wings in my beard. Huh. That'll do. Tail. Motion line. Alright. Excuse me. Just sticks tick. Just stick tick. Hey, just stick tick. Did you know that at Streamlabs they hate being called Stream Elements? Oh, man. Yes, I do know. Just today at Streamlabs, Justictics, the people of Streamlabs, the guy who runs Streamlabs, George, one of the top guys, said, you know, one of my favorite things is every Monday when Curtis opens his mouth, I'm Curtis, and says nice things about the art team, and and that really does make my week, I have to say. I wish I wasn't so requiring of adulation in order to be happy. Follow me on Instagram. That also makes me happy. But yeah, every week at Streamlabs we have a meeting because I work there. Thanks for the follow. Oh, it's static. That makes sense. Just static. When you wanna be democratic, remember it's all just static. Let's see what that one is. Yeah. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. So earlier, I believe it was Renata Lebras, 2010, who followed, but I couldn't see the text up there. And Twitch Game 76 is following me now, and that kind of kicks some ass. Look at all of those emoticons. There's a cat with sunglasses and a Bob Ross. You not know that. Lost some words. We all know that Bob can't be cross. Alright, so let's draw some bubbles around the words, and eventually I'll notice the spelling mistakes, or I'll post it on my Instagram, MrCurtoons on Instagram, also on Twitter. I'm not good at following Twitter, it gives me terrible anxiety. But I actually make sure to open up Twitter to post things on it now instead of just letting it flow directly from Instagram, because it just doesn't post well. So I actually open my Twitter now, so I do see things on Twitter. It's terrifying. But there's retweets and follows and whatnot there, so also fun to see. But mostly, I live my life on Instagram, making pictures. It's just how I am. Posting those things for the world. Made of ham? Why is ham the only rhyme I can think of? But that's just what I do. Aw, damn. There's a line hole in my head. Look at this. This is unprofessional garbage. Unacceptable nonsense. Let's make some bubbles and see what they say. Maybe it's funny in a comic style way. We'll put it on the internet and try to get likes. But mostly we're trying to buy a new bike. Actually, I have a bike in my kitchen. I should get away, should get rid of it. 'Cause that's not bitchin'. I haven't used it in well over a year. Actually, it's been 3. 'Cause the last time I took my bike out, when I first started working, so I'm gonna say here, but at Streamlabs. Streamlabs is how you do your streaming. If you're using anything else, you're dreaming. That was an awkward way to say it, but who cares? At least I didn't spray it. Wearing masks when you go outside. If you see a person, don't be afraid to hide. 'Cause you don't want to spit. You don't want to spit. And ruin the world like so many places who need to go out and show their faces. Just stay inside and watch us stream. This is a stream. You know what I mean? Hey, Krang.
I'm here, but I can also ride. I've got tentacles, and I got all the time. I'll never leave. I'm boarded up the walls. I've got cheeseburger here, and I make the calls. Oh, don't talk to me that way. I'm in charge.
Hey, wait a second. What's going on? Are we all doing a musical right now? Is this Cats? Is this where we each introduce ourselves like one of those little cats? And then I'm like, am I the angry one who's like, I'm the rum tum tumbler, and I have all the tumblers, and let's go eat out of the garbage. And you're the ones who don't know. You're the jelly tumblers, and is that, am I doing it right? Because I don't, maybe,
Meow, 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 meow.
thank you, Ripley. No, you're all doing it wrong except me. Actually, Donnie Krang was doing it okay. Was really genuinely surprised he had anywhere to go, but can always rip things straight from the headlines. I mean, everybody else got to do one. Why? What? How heartless could I be? How heartless could I be? Ted, what is your cat introduction song?
Oh, hey, bros. I'll sing a song. I'll make it not too long. It starts right here, and it will not go wrong. What? I'm not singing. I didn't realize I couldn't. Not with this voice, and maybe I shouldn't.
Good idea. It's fun. It's very similar to my regular work setup, except I sit in this comfy chair instead of my desk chair, and I turn on this light. That's like a little sign of my logo that I made. That's just cardboard. Eh? Those little cats in there. Eh? Good times. Good times. I make things. I used to work in TV, making TV. Now you don't make TV. You're just like, hey, remember that time I made TV? Is that cool? Am I still cool? And then people are like, no. What TV have you made lately? And then you're like, I make internet. Huh? Have you seen a YouTube? I've made a YouTube. I made the whole channel. And then people are like, yeah, anybody can make a channel. My little brother has a channel. Hey, what are we... Trying to impress just static over here. Not give away all of my horrible secrets. He's incorrigible. He's incorrigible. But I like having multiple cameras. Production value. Why in the fun can I not turn this line black? I'm going crazy. I'm just going to go over to the source. By Circuit City. Oh, it's because... yeah, it's starting to lag again. Running too many cameras. It's not HBO. It's the internet. Oh! Breaking avocado shakes, you'll be the ones to ask. Am I a horrible person, or is every bit of news about Spider-Man 3 telling me and or all of us that Spider-Man 3 is already dead to me? It's already dead to me. I was really looking forward to Spider-Man 2, and I had a great time at Spider-Man 2. There's some dumb things in it, but I don't care. 99% of it is fun. But every single day, there's a new, hey, check it out. Here's 9 more characters we're going to try and jam in to Spider-Man 3. Why? Why? We have all the information in the world. Everybody always talks about, the Batman and Robining of movies where you just jammed in way too many characters, and the other movies that do that. Meanwhile, it's just like, yep, like Spider-Verse, it's animated, so it's fine. Excuse me. I watched a bunch of parts of the Spider-Verse, but I was going to watch it this weekend, and I'm just like, I already know it's going to make me cry. I have watched enough of it that I know that there's at least 2 parts in there where I'm like, absolutely going to cry, and I was literally like, no, I'm not in the mood. I'm already too close to the edge of crying, but it's like, oh, it looks so good. And again, I love all those voices. The style is amazing. But, oh, so good. Really? You guys haven't seen any of the new stuff? But I have to say, Spider-Man 1, Homecoming, best. Like, the best. It's the best. Can't love it enough. Spider-Man 2, again, like the whole going on a school trip. I don't enjoy those when characters go another place. Just muddies the brand, if you will. But still was really fun. Still was super fun. Everything looked great still. Lots of good stuff. But the new one, like, I can tell they want to get Spider-Verse-y, but they're just like, hey, we're going to try and fit some Venom-y stuff in there. Hey, we're going to put Tobey Maguire in there, probably as Uncle Ben. We're going to throw Uncle Ben in there. Hey, maybe we'll put some other Spider-Man in. Hey, what about this? We'll throw this character in here. Hey, why not have a whole other side movie for what's his face? Ned. I'm just like, what is happening? This is dumb. I'm just gonna keep watching Homecoming every 3 months like I normally do. But yeah, Spider-Verse, I think it's mostly because I was like, oh, well, this is definitely just gonna pop up on Amazon. But it's like, no, you want to watch it on Amazon? Pay some money. No, I'm cheap. But yeah, I definitely have to. Like, I already know that I love it. Like, that's the weird thing is just like I love this movie. And I'm just terrible at, like, sitting down and watching movies that I know I'm going to love, which is a psychotic thing to say and to think. But yeah, Spider-Man 3 is already, like, because it's so dead to me, I'll probably enjoy it when it does come out, because a lot of movies have done that to me before. I'm just no, I don't even care anymore. And then I see it and I'm like, huh, like Justice League and Batman versus Robin. No. Batman versus Superman. Watching Batman versus Superman, I think it took me 2 times to watch it, but by the time I got all the way through it, I just got rid of Netflix because it wasn't working for me. But it just means it'll be easier for me to find. I'll find it. But yeah, Spider-Verse is definitely amazing. And the first 2 are great. Yes, I know what I forgot. But yeah, I don't know, the MCU universe, I think phase 4 or whatever it's on now, the next phase is when stuff starts to fall apart and we're all done with it. But there'll still be some. Oh, that's what I was saying. I'd given up so much on Justice League that when I saw Justice League, I was like, that was great. It was pretty fun. And even just watching clips of it, I'm just like, this is unwatchable garbage. Wow, I think I hate this movie. Was it fun? Because a lot of the things I thought were fun just make me angry now that I watch them again or think about them. And the Snyder Cut, that's doing the same thing too, where it's like, hey, we're jamming all kinds of characters. I want this Jared Leto Joker in me. Oh, do you? Then you're not making it better then. I don't care for your new Steppenwolf. Like, maybe it's better, maybe it's not. I really don't care. I just don't care. But for a minute, I was like, oh, new Justice League is going to be great. Oh, now it's a mini-series. Well, then I don't care anymore. And Batman v Superman. That one, I wanted to like. I really wanted to like it. Because it looked really good. It looked amazing. But it looked amazing because it was like, here's a bunch of really beautiful shots in 9 hours of slow motion. This is a Ken Burns documentary about a movie that should have most of it cut out of it, and just not explained. Like, Lex Luthor should barely be in that movie. How he executes his plan doesn't make any sense at all. Pat Prue, going to space and talking about you. So anyway, now that you're here, Pat, comics finally done. Let's explain each panel. Panel 1, Milo comes in. Any of these comics go viral yet? And I'm all like, what? And then I'm just like, nope, but it's fun to just make fun little comics for fun. And then Milo's just looking at like, I'm not impressed with that answer. So his response is, of course, stab. Oh my god, how do I forget the eyebrows in all of these? Stabbed. But yeah, Milo's, of course, unacceptable. Oh, didn't I just draw this line in? Am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? Already gone. And then the last panel, I'm like, you stabbed me. And Milo's like, yep, I'll be back later to see if it made you better at comic strippings. And then I'm just like, I promise it won't. You just stabbed me. Violence doesn't beget quality. And then you can get a book full of comics at MrCurtoons.com/books. The ad was on the page the whole time. What ad? Ripley.
Meow, 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 meow.
That's right, Rips. Do it. Press the other button. As soon as I can see it on the... There it is. Oh, wrong camera. And we're back. It's 11 o'clock here at night. And I have to go to work in the morning. But that's another comic done. Added to the pages. Someday I'll do enough to make book number 2. That will just be called MrCurtoons Comic Strippings and Cats. Something like that. But, it won't have as long and vague a title as the last one. At that link, there's also the 2 dinosaur books, and one of the poetry books is still there. Excuse me. And of course, there's some new dinosaur shirt designs at society6.com/MrCurtoons. There we go. Most of the people watching this stream have these books already. But yeah. That's it for this week. I forgot I had a little fight about memes versus original work on Instagram. But most of you saw my reaction to somebody just coming in saying, maybe artists have to be better than memes. Like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about companies using memes to generate traffic instead of paying artists to make art. Well, whatever. That's a topic for another time. Tale as old as rhyme. Beauties and beasts. I think that's everything. Did I save this? Save. Then yeah, I'll probably change the text and upload this to Instagram tomorrow or in 5 minutes from now. And then I'll fix the spelling that I'm probably missing tomorrow. But I think that's it. Looking at my buttons, there's nothing else. Nothing else we didn't do today. Didn't forget about Ted. I think that'll do. Every once in a while I try making a meme, but it usually just ends up being a weird comic using a meme to hate that meme. But, you know, like I said, there have been times when I've taken video of something when there's just music in the background, or I just tried to like everyone else, I'm gonna have a little puppet lip sync. But it's like, no, you can't just use other people's music. What world do you live in? But meanwhile, you can take photos that still have the watermark on them from the company that owns them, put a new piece of text on them, put them out there, and everyone's wicked cool with that. But yeah, every once in a while I'll do that and grab a picture of Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, and just put some text on it. There's definitely some typos, and I don't even care. But yeah, since I do try to keep talking all the way through, this is still basically a podcast between me, you guys, and these things all around here, and that's what it is. The drawing is technically superfluous. 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 I think that's the way you say that. But yeah. Meanwhile, I'll be back here next Tuesday as per usual. And between now and Tuesday, go over to Pat Prue 101 and watch him do different things depending on what day of the week it is. Other streams I'm sure are available, but why? Why waste your time? You want to watch people play guitar? You go watch twitch.com/Matthew K. Heafy, spelled how that sounds. And everyone else is playing games, I guess. I don't know. I guess there's some sort of Fortnite Galactus event happening. I don't know. I just play Soviet Jump Game and some old Nintendo games. But anyway, we're gonna roll the credits and talk to everyone next week. Whatever we learned, be careful how you speak. Credits. See you next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Everything's fun now. And don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe. What? Still need YouTube subscribers so I can name my channel. Good night, everybody! Stop button. Ripley, press the stop button.